Alright, now that I talked about DC Comics' great announcements they had at San Diego Comic-Con, I want to talk about my experience I had with Marvel at San Diego Comic-Con 2019. So let's just get right into it. First off, I want to talk about Marvel's The Avengers video game. Now, this looks insane. I didn't get a chance to go into the Marvel Games panel, but I did see the leaked footage. You guys can find it online. But the big thing was, people had a lot of opinions about the Avengers' faces in the trailer. But it's actually revealed that you can customize your heroes. You can customize their look, their armor, and a lot of different things. So the gameplay for this does look better. And guess what? Everyone's getting access to the Avengers demo next month in August. That's right, I'm so stoked for this game because after Marvel's Spider-Man game came out for PS4, the bar has been set so high for superhero games now. So before I go into all the Hall H announcements they had this year at San Diego Comic-Con, I want to talk about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because this is a show that I've had kind of mixed feelings about. I've loved certain seasons, really disliked other ones. The LMD Agents of Hydra and Ghost Rider season was amazing. And the past two seasons haven't been bad either. But it's really weird for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because we're about 2/3 of the way through this season. So, for the most part, at San Diego Comic-Con, the only thing they really showed off in the trailer was a little recap, sort of like how DC did. But they showed a little bit of stuff for the finale this season. I'm excited for the finale. I'm excited for the last and final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that we're going to see. It's funny enough, I was actually at a TV Guide panel, which had Stephen Amell, Candace Patton, people from Superstore, Vampire Diaries, all these other shows compiled into one. But Clark Gregg from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on there, and he actually revealed that this week, the week that we're in right now, he's going to be shooting the series finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's right, the final episode of the entire series. And that was kind of bittersweet. And it's really funny. You kind of learn some things about how they film shows. It's also worth mentioning that I was randomly walking around on the streets of San Diego. I bumped into a few familiar faces. That's right, be jealous. So, everything announced at Hall H and my opinions. So first, we have coming out May 1st of 2020, the Black Widow movie. And I thought Avengers Endgame was a great send-off for Black Widow's character, so I wasn't too thrilled that they were making a movie about her. I mean, I was hearing it's going to be a prequel set in like the 90s as well, just like Captain Marvel, but actually quite the opposite. They revealed that this is supposed to take place right after Captain America Civil War, so I don't even think they would really need to do too much de-aging on her. Maybe touch up a little makeup here and there, but there's only 3 years ago. Well, when the movie comes out, it'll be 4 years ago, but still, 2016, you shouldn't have to put too much makeup or change too much about the hair of a certain character to make her look different. This tiny bit younger. The rumors were true. David Harbour is in the film. He plays a character by the name of Red Guardian. He's basically like the Russian version of Captain America if he were bad. Florence Pugh is also going to be in this. And I'm actually really excited because she's definitely an up-and-coming actress because she was in indie films like Fighting with My Family and Midsommar. Regardless how I felt about Midsommar, I love Florence Pugh's performance in it. So I'm excited for her to have something huge like Black Widow, a Marvel Studios film under her belt. She's going to blow up after that film. Hopefully this film has more of a spy espionage type thing to it because I heard we're going to be getting a lot of Black Widow backstory in this, which is kind of warranted. I mean, we did get little teases in other movies, but I am happy to see more expanded stories with her. And Captain America the Winter Soldier is one of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe films, and I really hope it has the tone of that, where the action and the espionage aspect are really well done, with just a little bit of comedy in there. I just hope it's the perfect blend. It's not one of my most anticipated Marvel Studios films coming up, but I'm still looking forward to it. Next up, coming out next year, November 5th, 2020, we have Marvel Studios' The Eternals. We still don't have too much information to go off of for The Eternals, but the story of The Eternals is kind of interesting to me because they're supposed to be some sort of retelling of the Greek gods. There's supposed to be a character playing an Icarus-type character, someone who's supposed to be some sort of incarnation of Athena, which is really intriguing to me because Greek gods, Greek mythology, all that stuff was my favorite part of history class. And not to mention, God of War is my favorite video game franchise out there. The film is starring Angelina Jolie, which is huge because she's an awesome actress, Kumail Nanjiani, Selma Hayek, and Brian Tyree Henry. Just like Black Widow, this isn't really one of my highly anticipated Marvel Studios films coming out, but the Greek god aspect does have me interested, so regardless, I look forward to it. Now this is the next Marvel Studios film that I'm excited about the most. February 12th, 2021, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The character of Shang-Chi has always interested me because just like the character of Iron Fist, I'm a sucker for martial arts stuff. Movies, TV shows, you name it, I love it. And if they put a fantasy spin on it, like they're going to do, just like they did in the comics, this is going to interest me more, guys. The film stars Simu Liu as our lead, and interestingly enough, the Mandarin is making his comeback. No, not Ben Kingsley, not Iron Man 3's Mandarin, the real Mandarin. Played by Tony Leung Chiu-wai, who played Bruce Lee's master in the film The Grand Master. Not to be confused with Donnie Yen's Ip Man, but regardless, I'm excited for this guy to get his first big Hollywood break. Awkwafina is set to star in this film. The movie is supposed to start production early 2020. I just can't wait for this. I really hope they get a great stunt coordinator for this because the bar is set really high when you have TV shows like The Warrior, Into the Badlands, movies like Ip Man, The Protector, Bak, The Raid. That should have been their #1 goal before they even did casting for this film, is a freaking great fight choreographer. I can't wait for this film, you guys. Moving on to the next film, May 7th, 2021, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm really hyped for this film for multiple different reasons. I mean, it has the name multiverse in the title, so even though we've had little teases sprinkled in with the past MCU films, this is going to delve deep into the multiverse, so maybe we'll see some other actors from other Marvel properties, Sony, old Fox properties. Who knows? I mean, maybe I'm getting my hopes up way too high, but I'm also hearing that the director said during the panel that there's going to be a horror vibe to this film. I mean, that'll be a first for the MCU. Obviously, Benedict Cumberbatch and Benedict Wong will be reprising their roles, and interestingly enough, Elizabeth Olsen is going to be back as Scarlet Witch in this film. So since this is a multiverse, I'm wondering if this is going to be like newly revamped X-Men style Scarlet Witch, or is this going to be like post-Endgame Scarlet Witch have we seen? I mean, maybe the post-Endgame Scarlet Witch, I could see how that ties in because she really starts losing her shit at the end of this movie, like, you took everything from me. So maybe like that's why the multiverse starts collapsing, because she messes with it. I guess for that one, let me know what you guys think in the comments. The movie starts filming in early 2020, so I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. 3 movies in 2021. Wow. November 5th, 2021, we get Thor, Love and Thunder. So originally, when I heard about this movie, it got announced at Hall H, what the hell's up with that title? It sounds so corny and dumb. And people who know me know just the comedy didn't really work for me in Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi, I think, doesn't really understand the character. But that's just my opinion. I'm not calling the film bad by any means. I just couldn't get into it. So with him returning for the 4th film, I was kind of dreading this. But when I read the storyline for what's going to be happening apparently in this film, I actually got way more interested than I thought I would. So when I watched this panel, it was revealed that Natalie Portman is going to come back as Jane Foster, and she's going to play Lady Thor, the Mighty Thor. According to what I'm reading online, there's a version of Jane Foster that gets some form of cancer, and every time she becomes Thor, it kind of rids the cancer from her body. I'm probably screwing that up, but it keeps coming back and coming. That actually sounds unique to me. I mean, maybe they'll put some seriousness into the film then, since it's dealing with such a heavy subject. So you know what? If Taika Waititi can bring a good balance of seriousness with some of his fun comedy he did in the last movie, then you know what, so be it. Obviously, Chris Hemsworth is going to return, but I'm not sure who's going to share the spotlight more. I'm guessing Natalie Portman will. And let me just say, it's been a while since Natalie Portman has returned to the MCU. It's since Thor the Dark World. I thought she kind of gave up on the role. I mean, I don't blame her because she was just a side character and like Thor's love interest, so it probably took a lot for her to come back to this role. Thor Love and Thunder starts shooting summer of next year, and you know what? I'm optimistic about this one. Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, Captain Marvel 2, and Fantastic Four were all confirmed as, like, being worked on by Kevin Feige. He also briefly mentioned he has a plan for X-Men or the Mutants storyline, so I guess we'll see what happens with that. I really don't think anything's going to happen with X-Men until Phase 5. He thinks they need a little bit of a break-in. After Dark Phoenix and X-Men Apocalypse, I get it. I'm excited to see some of these sequels, but again, I'm pretty indifferent. I mean, the only thing that's been announced for them was the titles. They didn't go into detail at all with these, so we'll just have to wait and see. And just when you thought all the movie announcements were done, Kevin Feige brings up Mahershala Ali on stage. You know, the guy who played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage and the dude from the Green Book, comes out, puts on his little hat that says Blade on the front of it. Fans lost their shit. It's confirmed that Blade is going to be the start of Phase 5. And you know, I'm actually happy that Phase 4 is going to be a little shorter and not lead up to a team-up movie, because after Avengers Endgame, that was the endgame. I feel like this is the start of a new era, a new set of heroes, while all of these old heroes, for the most part, take a backseat. But maybe when there's a team-up down the line, they'll all get back together again. I'm not opposed to seeing that. We've had to wait a while for a new Blade film. This film has to be R-rated, though. For Phase 5, if they're doing an R-rated Blade film, I think that'll be the perfect time to introduce Deadpool 3 into the mix. Deadpool 3, you know that's going to be R-rated because the PG-13 version of Deadpool did not work. So all these Disney Plus series, okay, I wasn't hyped for any of these at all. A lot of them had corny names like the Falcon and Winter Soldier. It doesn't sound original at all. But once I read more into it, they announced that these are going to be limited series for the most part. 6-episode runs of each show. So actually, you know what? I can get behind that. It's not overdoing it with the characters. They're not going to make us sick of the characters. They're just going to give us a little bit more of a story than what they've received in past MCU films. Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie make a perfect team, and the show starts filming in a few months. So Disney, you're making all the smart moves, I'm not gonna lie. Well, for the most part, no company's perfect. So the next Disney Plus show announced, well, they already sort of announced this, but we're gonna talk about WandaVision. Stupid name, by the way. It sounds like a dumb couple name like Beneford. You guys remember that? It's also worth noting that the Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision will take place post-Avengers Endgame, so I'm going to be really interested to see, because they said Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are going to be reprising their roles. We all know one of them didn't make it after Infinity War. Teyonah Parris will play Monica Rambeau. She was actually the daughter of that black female pilot in the Captain Marvel film. So I'm excited actually to see an adult version of her, see what she's doing. Apparently this is supposed to directly tie into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So Teyonah Parris' character and this whole tie-in aspect are the only things that's really interesting me about this show. Personally, if you like Vision, that's cool, but he was never really my favorite. He was always kind of dull and boring, and I just couldn't get into his character at all. Scarlet Witch was okay. I mean, I'm much more of a fan of her from the X-Men cartoons back in the day than the Avengers, Infinity War, Civil War portrayal of the character, and Age of Ultron. But you know what? In Endgame, I saw her getting a little crazy, so there's some hope for that character. But who knows? Maybe after they show a trailer or after I see the series, my opinion will change. Filming for WandaVision is set to start later this year. So the next Disney Plus series Kevin Feige talked about is Loki. Now, this one is apparently going to take place, spoilers if you guys haven't seen Avengers Endgame, what are you doing with your life? But this takes place in the multiverse, and it takes place in the specific universe where Loki kept the Space Stone, the Tesseract in the 2012 scene from Avengers Endgame. Apparently he's going to be popping in and out of different places and different time periods. It seems like an okay enough idea, but I'm kind of tired of this whole revitalizing characters thing. I mean, it's great when we get to see a team-up movie. It's cool when we get to see everyone back together, I'm not going to lie. But it's also stupid that no one's ever really dead. Like, you can't kill off a character, because I feel like Marvel and a lot of other comic book properties are just going to bring their characters back. So that kind of takes the stakes down a little bit and doesn't leave me that emotionally invested in some of the characters. But we'll see how this one pans out. I don't know how to feel. I'm conflicted and excited at the same time. I don't know how that makes sense. One of the more interesting announcements is they're making a Disney Plus series called What If. What If is actually going to be a first for Marvel Studios, an animated 6-episode series that's going to consist of actual actors and actresses from previous MCU films voicing their specific characters. And if you haven't gathered from the title, What If is going to take place in multiple different universes based on actual events that happened in the MCU, but what if they had different outcomes? And anyone who knows me knows that I'm a sucker for anything multiverse. I love seeing different versions of characters, alternate realities, and I love seeing evil versions of characters too, so maybe some of the characters will turn evil. That'll be really cool to see. So the last one I'm going to talk about is Hawkeye. Apparently this series is supposed to be kind of a passing of the mantle as teased at the beginning of Avengers Endgame. He's teaching his daughter how to shoot a bow and arrow, and I'm guessing she's going to become the next Hawkeye and Jeremy Renner's going to step down at some point. Honestly, I've never really been a fan of Hawkeye. I mean, even way back in the day on the NES when they had some Avengers, Captain America type games, I never played as Hawkeye. He was always weak as hell. And at this point, we've seen like 15 different badass archers on the big and small screens. We've seen Legolas from Lord of the Rings, Oliver Queen from Green Arrow, and all the other archers in that series, Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games. We have an overabundance of these type of characters, and Hawkeye never really offered anything new to the mix for me. It's not like I'm not gonna watch this show. It's Marvel Studios. I'm definitely gonna watch it because I don't want to miss out on anything, but maybe it'll change my idea of the character. I doubt it though. Whew, that was a lot of news to take in. So that's it. That's all my thoughts on all the Marvel announcements. I mean, I could go on and on, but we don't have a half hour here. Before I go, just like the DC video, I'm going to leave you guys with some crazy Marvel cosplays I saw at the convention.